Welcome to the Morristown Unitarian Fellowship, our multi-generational, spiritually alive, radically inclusive, and justice-centered community. We are so glad that you're here, whether you're new or you've been a part of our fellowship for a long while. If you are a newcomer and are curious about our faith and our community, we are starting our Getting to Know You series at 1 p.m. today. It's an opportunity to learn more about Unitarian Universalism, our history, our theologies, and our practices, and the Morristown Unitarian Fellowship in particular. The class is also encouraged for members and friends who've never had a chance to take it before. Everyone is welcome. Members, I want to remind you to attend one of the important update sessions about our ongoing facilities campaign and improvements. Every year, we're moving forward on our vision for our fellowship's buildings and grounds. Come and hear from Gateways and Deeper Roots, Wider Wings about the plans for next summer in advance of the vote on February 28th. The update sessions are happening this afternoon at 1 p.m., Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m., and next Saturday at 10 a.m. So please attend one of them if you haven't already. You'll find the info and Zoom links for everything I've just mentioned at www.muuf.org/virtual. We're blessed to have our ministerial intern, Charles Loflin, lead our worship this morning. Thank you, Charles. And our offering will be split 50-50 between our fellowship and our partner church in Shinfalva in Transylvania, a community which has endured many hardships. The money that we send to them will be used for some badly needed repairs to their building. To our siblings in faith in Shinfalva, and to members and friends tuning in from Morris County and many spots around the country and the globe, we open by affirming, it is good to be. It is good to be here. It is so good to be here together.
We light our chalice with the words of Carl G. Seberg. Let there be joy in our coming together this morning. Let there be truth heard in the words we speak and the songs we sing. Let there be help and healing in our disharmony and despair. Let there be silence for the voice within us and beyond us. Let there be joy in our coming together.
We give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this light we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this joy we share with love love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks. We give thanks.
I have a story to share. It is a little gift from me to you. You might not know it, but you have a story too. You'll find it in the things you stop to notice. The world is full of people and places and things, all of them interesting, all of them beautiful. You never know what you might see or where your mind might take you. So keep your eyes wide open as you go. In Egypt, there are pyramids. In Arizona, there are canyons. In the jungles of Brazil are leaves so beautiful, plentiful, and green that light can barely reach the ground below. In the high hills of Japan are gardens full of wind-worn rocks and clean white sand, but not a single flower. In Kenya, there are hot, dry savannas filled with zebras and blue wildebeest. In Alaska, there are cold, wet waters filled with seals and sockeye salmon. In the middle of the Coral Sea, there is a roaring storm that no one will ever hear. On the near side of the moon, there is a quiet footprint that no rains will ever wash away. In Sheboygan, there is a tractor mechanic named Shirley who has 37 friends. On the North Pole, there is a cold, lonesome bear wishing for some company. You want to go see him, of course, to let him know he's not alone, but your bike won't get you there and back by bedtime. Still, you noticed him, didn't you? He walked off this page and into your head. Now he is part of your story. There are other wonders yet to find, not so far from where you are right now. They too are interesting. They too are beautiful. Stop and look, and you will see them. In the highest part of the tree is an unexpected gift, a blue balloon that must have slipped from someone's fingers. In the deepest part of the pool is sunken treasure, a shiny dime that must have tumbled from someone's pocket. Will you save it, or will you spend it? Or will you leave it there for someone else to find it? In the grocery store are aisles and shelves and stacks of cans. You have to look so carefully to find the one you want. In your bowl of steaming soup is just one noodle that doesn't match the others. Where do you think it came from? On the playground is a sturdy line of bright black ants carrying their supper home. Under the bridge is a gently rolling river floating a blue glass bottle out to sea. Perhaps it holds a message. What does it say? Who could it be for? In the busy town are sidewalks full of swiftly moving people who somehow never seem to collide. In the quiet countryside are miles of open, empty roads that somehow never seem to end. Where are they going? Someday you may find out. In the hallway is a spotted dog that turns golden as the sun sets through the window. In the bedroom is a doorknob that makes rainbows when the reading lamp clicks on. Now the lamp is off. The moon is up. You close your eyes and you see them again. The things you noticed today. All of these together are your story. Dream with them a while. When you wake up in the morning, open your eyes and open your window and let your story out into the world. It is a little gift from you to me. Now my story is complete, but yours is just beginning. You never know what you might see or where your mind might take you. So keep your eyes wide open as you go.
I invite you to join me now in a spirit of prayer and meditation. Let's begin by assuming a comfortable posture and bringing awareness to your breath. Simply allow the breath to effortlessly fill your lungs and then just as effortlessly to release. Breathing in and breathing out. Now today we're going to use the acronym of thanks. This is a practice I first learned from Josie Robinson in The Gratitude Jar. We begin with the letter T. T is think about what you are grateful for. Maybe you are grateful for a kindness that someone extended to you. Perhaps it was a shared moment with someone or a loved one. It can be something very, very simple. But think about what you are grateful for. Next, for the letter H, have an open mind. Be open to whatever your heart and your intuition are telling you. You can give gratitude for anything, no matter how seemingly silly or small it might be. But be open to how powerful even these small things can be. Next, for the letter A, allow yourself to feel the gratitude. As you open yourself to this simple exercise, you may find that more and more comes up for you. Give yourself permission to fully feel this experience. Feel how stress and tension naturally melt away in the presence of gratitude. Our next letter is the letter N. Note your gratitude. At some point later today, try to find an opportunity to actually write down on a slip of paper what it is you're grateful for. Putting it on paper can help solidify its meaning for you. Note your gratitude. Our next letter is K. Keep it. You might consider a physical container in which you can place your slip of paper into, sort of like a jar or an envelope. But even without a container, you can choose to keep this gratitude with you throughout this day. And finally, the letter S. Share it with someone else. At our core, we are communal creatures by our nature. Sharing your gratitude extends the impact beyond yourself. Happiness shared is happiness doubled. Return your attention once more to your breath. And imagine that with each breath, the gratitude you feel is reaching deeper into every part of your body, filling every single cell. And I want to encourage you to give this practice a try. Spending a few minutes in gratitude each day can shift your thoughts in a remarkably short period of time.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright rubber kettles and woolen mittens, brownie with packages tied up with strings. white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and my lashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee sings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright colored kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and my lashes, silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee sings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
I know that we're only 24 days into 2021, but part of me is already exhausted. Sometimes it feels like being stuck on a roller coaster that simply refuses to come to an end. And it's not just one thing, it's all the things, like all of them at the same time. Like so many other Americans, I found myself watching the inauguration of President Joe Biden this week, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. We were only weeks removed from a still difficult to process attempted insurrection at the national capital, and the threat of potential violence was a genuine concern. And to me, it was almost as if there was an audible sigh of relief from millions of people when the once presumptive peaceful transfer of power more or less occurred without incident. But I have to say, it wasn't until Thursday morning that I felt certain I could proceed with a sermon entitled A Few of My Favorite Things. The logistics of preparing newsletters and email blasts means that sermon titles are chosen weeks in advance. And while there's always the prerogative to adjust based on contextual need, it's been a particular challenge, perhaps especially over the last year, in terms of planning out sermons not knowing what the news would be. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition promotes a commitment of the concept of the freedom of the pulpit, which allows, at least in part, a minister to speak their truth. And that might from time to time entail a sermon title that's different from the one printed in the order of service. In my experience, sermon titles themselves are an interesting amalgam of art and science. You know, sometimes they emerge from a sense of prophetic imperative or pastoral necessity. But today I suspect that to some extent, this is the sermon that I myself most need to hear. This title, of course, is taken from the 1959 Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, The Sound of Music. And the lyrics reflect the things that the character Maria loves, and they are the things that fill her with joy and gratitude. And I find myself in need of a reminder of the things that bring me joy. It also resonates with me from Dr. Barbara Ann Kipfer's book, 14,000 Things to Be Happy About, which is a list that she compiled over 50 years of random and sometimes abstract things. I mean, that's all it is. No plot, no narrative, just a list of things that at some point brought her joy. Kipfer says, paying attention to life, to its beauty, oddity, wonder, is what happiness is all about. Beginning in 6th grade with a tiny spiral notebook, I kept collecting and moving to larger notebooks and finally to a computer. And although my database is well over 145,000 entries now, this book encapsulates what there is to be happy about and appreciative of in life. Words and the images they create are a great source of pleasure and inspiration. Flip through this book, she says, to cheer yourself up, to remind yourself to be grateful, maybe even find something to do or something to cook for dinner. And as you read through these pages, give yourself time to conjure up your own images, to reminisce, wish, dream, awaken. I hope you will find, as I did, that happiness comes from appreciating the little things in life. Now, you may be thinking to yourself at this point, okay, that's all well and good, but is this really a good use of my time? Don't you know that there are real problems in the world, life-threatening existential crises? Is this really important in the wake of a global pandemic, of racial injustice, of climate catastrophe, of political polarization, of systemic oppression? And my answer is yes. This absolutely is critically important and relevant, especially to a faith community. In the book, Buddha's Brain, The Practical Neuroscience of Happiness, Love, and Wisdom, Dr. Rick Hansen discusses the impact of negativity bias for how our brains work. He says, here's the problem. Your brain preferentially scans for, registers, stores, recalls, and reacts to unpleasant experiences. Consequently, even when positive experiences outnumber negative ones, the pile of negative implicit memories naturally grows faster. Then the background feeling of what it feels like to be you can become undeservedly glum and pessimistic. As he explains, the fact is our brains are built with a greater sensitivity to negativity. And that capacity for negative bias most likely evolved for a good reason, to make it unavoidable for us not to notice danger and therefore to force us to respond to it. But Hansen points out that the remedy is not to suppress negative experiences. Those negative experiences are going to happen. The key is to intentionally foster positive experiences. And he offers guidelines for internalizing this positive. First, he says that we should turn positive facts into positive experiences. There are good things happening all around us, and too often we do not notice them, or if we do, because of our negativity bias, we hardly feel them. But if we can work at bringing mindful awareness to these experiences, and then open up to them and allow them to affect us, then we can cultivate their positive impact. The second thing he says is that we should savor the experience. The longer that something is held in awareness and the more emotionally stimulating it is, the more neurons that fire and wire together in our brains. So even spending 5, 10, or 20 seconds letting these experiences fully affect us will have a profound impact. Now, importantly, it's not clinging to these experiences, but rather internalizing them. Hansen says, given the negativity bias of the brain, it takes an active effort to internalize positive experiences and heal negative ones. When you tilt toward what's positive, you're actually righting a neurological imbalance. So again, this is not about putting the best face on everything or turning away from what is hard and unpleasant. Instead, it's about nourishing well-being, contentment, and peace inside of us. Researchers have found that frequent, smaller positive experiences have a greater impact than singular, large experience. It seems to take frequent, small positive experiences to tip the scale towards happiness. Moreover, they suggest that the ratio of positive to negative experiences should be about 5-to-1 for optimum balance. The challenges that we face are real, and they demand our unwavering commitment. But in order to sustain the work that we are called to do, we must cultivate communities that are resilient and life-affirming. Joy and gratitude are powerful tools for caring for ourselves and others. And there is no greater act of resistance to systemic and institutional oppression than the audacious hope of beloved community. So I dare you to build your own gratitude practice. Imagine what it would be like to start your list of things that bring you joy. Share them with one another. I am not alone. You are not alone. We are not alone. Blessed be.
You gotta do when the Spirit says do. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you gotta do, oh Lord. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. 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 You gotta sing when the Spirit says sing. You gotta sing when the Spirit says sing. When the Spirit says sing, you gotta sing, oh Lord. You gotta sing when the Spirit says sing. 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 You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. When the Spirit says shout, you gotta shout, oh Lord. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. 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 You gotta do when the Spirit says do. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you gotta do, oh Lord. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. 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 Spirit says do.
Thank you so much for choosing to spend this time together. If you are here during our live Facebook or YouTube premiere, then I want to extend an invitation for you to join us in our virtual coffee hour immediately following. You can find the link in the chat, or you can go to our website at muuf.org/virtual. Our final words this morning are from the Vietnamese Buddhist monk, teacher, author, and peace activist Thich Nhat Hanh. Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. Until we gather again, go in peace, go in love, go in joy.
As we extinguish this chalice, our time of worship has ended. Now let our service begin.
When I breathe in